Now coming to the modeling with the inbuilt functionalities in Midas Gen itself. So up to now what we have seen is how to import models from different softwares or how to take it with from the BAM softwares and all. Now we discuss about some of the modeling functionalities available in Midas Gen itself. So if you want to generate any type of model in Midas, the first thing is either if you have a grid, you can generate a grid actually. You can go to grids. So you can say point grid or line grid. And if you want to define your grid actually, you can go to the structure, define point grid. So you can give 1 meter by 1 meter grid. So boundary is 0 comma 0, starting is 0 comma 0 and 10 comma 10. So 10 meters boundary I'm giving, say okay. So the boundary is generated. Maybe the dots are not clearly visible. Just change me my display color to black. So now you can see the yellow dots actually. So directly now you can go to the elements, either create nodes. Directly you can snap to the grid points and you can create, or you can directly create elements snapping to the grid points, or you want to create the slabs and all actually you can go to the auto meshing. So node elements. So directly selecting on the grid points itself actually the slab, the shape of the slab and all actually. Any arbitrary shape of the slab. You can do the meshing. Any arbitrary shape by selecting the nodes on the grid. So one way of modeling is using the grid, the point grid. You select the point grids and you create the model based on the point grids. The second option is you can also use the line grids. So grid, define line grid. So when you're using the line grid can be defined only in the XY plane. You cannot define the grid in the XZ plane, any other plane. It will should be always in XY plane. So you define your grid lines in the X direction. So what is the spacing? 5 meters and then 3 at the rate of 8 meters. When I say 3 at the rate of 8 meters, it creates 3 grid lines each at a 8 meters distance. So here actually there is at the top you can see another option, absolute or relative. When I say relative, the first span I give 5, the second one I give 5. So this 5 is with respect to the last point. When I say absolute, then I need to give 5, 10, 15 like that. Okay. So with respect to absolute I was giving, and here also I'm giving 3 at the rate of 6 meters. Okay. Okay. So and you need to give a name. Name. Okay. Okay. So here you can see the grid actually. So the grid is placed. Once the grid is there, again you can create the elements and boundaries and everything on the grid actually. So wherever you want you can place the elements, sections on the grid, and you can create the sections on the grid. So this is one way of modeling the grids actually. So I selected the beam name actually, and then on the grid lines I was clicking on the grid line. So just for generating my beams and all in the grid line. So this is one way of creating the model using the grids. The other way of creating the model is we also have wizards actually. Different types of wizards are there actually. So by using the wizards also you can create. So we have beam wizard. So for generating a beams, column wizard, arch, frame. Arch is mainly useful for creating curved beams or curved these things are curved arches, parabola, circle, ellipse. Different types of options are available actually. So you can select any type of thing and you can implement the arch. Okay. Similarly, you can go to the base structure, frame structure. So here if you want to create a floor plan actually, floor plan directly you can create it here. Say 5 meters. 3 times I want to repeat. 3 at the rate 6 4 times I want to repeat. And then I go to the edit, generate frame. So the frame is generated. So I define a section property. Say it is I section, let it keep it I section, HEA 240. Okay. Close and insert. So here when you are defining the frame actually it is defined in the XZ plane. It's not in XY plane actually. So if you want it to be oriented in the XY plane, then we need to give rotation with respect to the X axis, that is minus 90, and I would say okay. So here you can see the section is defined, the frame is defined. So this is one way of doing the frames actually. Truss, we have different wizards for the truss. Different types of truss can be defined actually. By using the truss wizard you can define the trusses and all. Or the other way of the modeling is directly you can create the nodes and elements and you can do these things. So here again once you create your frame or anything actually, if you want to create your columns and all, it's the same again. You can select the various nodes available and you can go to the extrude commands. extrude and you can generate the model, extrude commands and all. So if you want to create any tanks, water tanks or any circular structures and all, that's also you can use the extrude commands, rotate command, revolve command, all these commands are available. So for example, I want to go create a water tank, circular tank actually. So what I can do is directly first I will create a node. I'm creating a node at 5 meters from the origin in the X direction. So I just created a single node at that point. Now I'm going to the extrude command, extrude. I'm extruding my node to line element actually. Node to line element in the translate direction, unequal distance in the Z direction, 3 times at the rate of 1 meter. At the rate 1 meter. And select the node and I would say apply. See the line is created. Now what I will select is, similarly again I will select the node at the top, X and Y 1 meter, save 5 times and I would say apply. So my inclined surface I created. Now I select the top face, again I say 15 at the rate of 1 meter. So what I was creating is just I was creating a 2D line for my entire structure, tank structure. So once the 2D line is created, I can revolve this to create the circular structure. So I select the complete line, line to planar element. So I select the complete elements, line to planar element, and then I would say rotate number of times. Let me say it is 36 times. Increment angle is 10 degrees. Rotation axis along the Z axis. I select all the elements and I would say apply. So the structure is created. So this is one way of creating. So similarly again what you can do is, if you have solid elements, say for example instead of 36 times I would say 2 times 10 degrees along the Z axis, selecting the elements. So these are the planar elements created. Now I can convert this planar element to solid elements as well. So I select the planar elements, solid elements. So translate in the X direction, 2 at the rate of 0.5 meters, 0.5, I would say apply. Okay. Yeah. So once I select the plates actually, and I can just rotate it, so I extrude it. So this can be extruded into solid format as well. Solids. So the plate elements can be converted to solids. Solids can be converted to solids actually. The nodes can be converted to line elements. Line elements can be converted to planar elements. Planar elements can be converted to solid elements. So this is the basic modeling actually. The different types of modeling techniques available in the software. Now coming to the other things like some of the other modelings like the slab modeling and the meshing of the slabs and all. So for example, if you want to, if you have already created the floor plan actually with all the column locations and all. So let's see, this is the floor plan where I have my beams and the columns actually. So let me go to the hidden view. So I have my columns and the beams. The outer periphery beams are there and the walls are there. So in this case, if I want to generate my slab actually, I can use the auto meshing functionality as well. So you go to the node by element, auto mesh. So it's a line elements. So one option is I can directly select by plane. I can select the entire XY plane and I click on any node on that plane actually. So the entire plane is selected and I say close and I would say apply. See, the meshing is generated. So like that you can go on generating the meshing at different places actually, and you can create the model. Once the meshing is generated, now you want to generate the building. So again you can select the complete model and you can go to the structure, control data, building, say 3 times or 4 times, 3.15 meter height, say add and you say apply. So in some portions actually after going towards the top, you don't want your complete building to is not being going towards the top, only some portion of the building is just going to the top actually. So in that case what you can do is, there is no, either you can import that floor plan from again AutoCAD and you can do it, or you select only that portion of the structure and you go to the building generation operation, say 3 times at 3.5 meters, add, only select the portion which you want to extend and you say apply. So only that portion is generated in the building. Okay, this is how you generate the models in Midas Gen. So if you have any doubts, actually you can ask. So this webinar is mainly concentrated on the modeling. So next webinar we will be conducting with very soon, within 15 days. We will send you the invitation file. There we will be talking more about the loadings, different types of loads, how you apply the loads in Midas Gen and all. The loading part will be covered. So in modeling, if you have any doubt, actually you can ask me. Up to the modeling or import related functionalities. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Is it possible to include parking ramps to be imported to Midas Gen? Yes, sir, you can import the parking ramps actually. Yes, you can import the parking ramps, but that should be from a 3D file, not from a 2D file actually. If you want to go it from the one floor to another floor, the ramp is going. So then it should be in the 3D file actually, not in a 2D file. Yes, sir, offset of column is there actually. There are different ways of providing the offset for the columns actually. Say for example, okay, I will show you how the offsets are provided to the column. So I would take a very simple example here actually, where what I will do is actually, let me, okay, I will do a simple column actually, where I have a column at the bottom, which is 500 by 500, say, or a 1 meter by 1 meter at the bottom column, and the top column is 500 by 500, which is which is flush to one side of the column actually. So if you want to provide this type of offsets, yes, you can do it in Midas. Just I will show you a simple example how it can be done. Just let me. So here what you can do is first let me create two sections. I go to the properties, section properties, add, say solid rectangle, column, 1 meter by 1 meter, apply, and another column is 0.5 by 0.5. Okay. Now what I will do, I structure, base structure, column, say 2 at 5 meters, sorry, 5 meters, 2 times, add, material 1, section 1, okay. And now the top column I'm going to change it to column 2. Now by default actually it's always connected centerline to centerline if you see here. So there are two ways of providing the offset for this column. One is you select this thing and you go to the boundaries. We have option called beam and offsets. So here you can select the beam and offset. In the global direction you can give the value, what is the RDY, in which direction you want to move, RDX, RDY. That is one way. Or the second one is directly you click on the right click on the property. When you are defining the property of the column itself, there we have this option called change offset at the bottom. So click on the change offset. So you can say it's into the center, it's like center bottom. Center bottom. Okay, it's not center bottom, it's center top actually. So bottom has gone to that side. So if I want to take it to this side, center top, okay, okay. So here you can see the column is automatically flushed to the other end actually. So now once you apply what are the loads are coming and all, it creates additional movement in the column below. So if you see in the 3D view, it shows like this, but if you see in the line view, it is similarly a straight column again. In the line view, it is straight, but if you go to the 3D view, extruded view, you can see the column. So you can give different offsets for different positions for the columns. Not only for columns, you can give offsets for slabs, plates. So for example, you have sunken slab and all. On two sides, the slab is at different level for the beam. So those things also you can model here. Yeah, the question regarding this is, and there is a connectivity and no need to connect them. Yes, sir, there is a connectivity internally. There is no need to do any connectivity or anything. These two columns are connected. Now, similarly, if you want to do, say, slabs, sunken slab, actually something, which are the slabs are at different levels. On both sides of the beam, it is at a different level. So what I can do is actually just I will go to the point grid. Let me create two slabs actually. Say structure. Let me go to the node by element, create elements, planar element, plate. Sorry. This is the slab on one direction. This is the slab on the other end of the beam. And then I have a beam in between. Say general beam by tapered beam. This is my beam. So what I will do is just I will close this thing works. First, let me define the beam property. Let me say it's a solid rectangular beam. Say beam. Say rectangular height is 700 mm beam actually. Thickness is 0.2. Let me say it's a beam thickness. So let me go to the this view actually, and the plate thickness add 0.2 thickness plate offset thickness or value 0.2, that is 0.1 0.1 plus 0.35. This is 0.25 I think. Okay, add another thickness 0.2 and plate offset value minus 0.25, and I would say okay, and I select the second plate and apply this thickness. So like this also you can model actually. So here the slab actually it's in the same level, but it is like a due to different. If there is a loading difference is there on the both side, both ends of the slabs, it creates the movements and all. So it's not only the offsets for beams, columns, you can do it for slabs, walls, and everything. You can give the offset commands. Okay. And another question from Mr. Ahmad Tarawan hai, when you select the old story to replicate it, will the selection include the fixed support? Yes, sir. By default, the selection include the fixed support, but here the option actually when you are going to the building generation, at the bottom, we have the option copy node attributes, copy element attributes. If you uncheck this one, none of the node attributes are copied actually. The supports are not copied, but if it is checked, then the supports are copied. So if there is some load is also applied on the node, you want to copy the load, you don't want to copy the supports, then what you can do is next to this copy node attributes, there is a small box with the three dots. Click on that. So it opens. So here you can check which one to be copied, which not to be copied. Say I don't want to copy the supports, just I can uncheck the supports actually, and I can keep the loads, the static loads and nodal masses. So those things will be copied. The supports are not copied. So you can manipulate these things actually when you're generating the building and all, which one to copy, which not to copy and all. So it's not only for the nodes actually, even the elements, element attributes. If you have given any beam plate releases and all, either you want to copy the plate release, beam releases and all. Similar the building attributes like floor loads and all, you want to copy the floor loads or not. So those things you can check. Any other questions? So any questions, sir? Any questions if you have, you can ask me the questions. So if there are no further questions, we will end the session here. Thank you very much for attending the session. So if you have any doubts or any questions, actually you can send the mail to techsupport@midasit.com. That is our technical support ID. So immediately one of the engineer will reply to you. So in future, if you when you are working on the program, if you have any doubts or anything, actually you can come to the techsupport@midasit.com. That is our technical support ID. And another question, does the converter need a specific window to work like Windows 7 or Windows XP? Sir, you are talking about ETAPS 2013 converter? If it is the ETAPS 2013, yeah, ETAPS converter, it will work in Windows 7 or Windows 8, Windows 10, any of these systems it will work actually. And it should be, both your ETAPS program should be 64-bit and your Windows should be 64-bit. Both should be 64-bit.